This is Watch Dogs Legion. We're here on PlayStation 5 Pro. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is the open world Watch Dogs experience that sent players to the magical area of London. So this was an interesting entry. It was the third main release in the Watch Dogs franchise, and basically the one that kind of, at least for now, sort of ended the series, I guess you would say. It didn't really quite hit off as they sort of expected it to, but hopefully Watch Dogs will return. They definitely went in some odd directions with this one in terms of gameplay, because you don't have like a central character, you're just sort of any random person in London, which is a neat idea for like a quirky multiplayer mode, but I think for a story-based thing, it's a bit weird when you can't have a centralized character that's behind everything. If that makes sense. So you're just kind of like jumping between different people that have different abilities, which is cool, but as I said, it's kind of a bit odd. It's a trap.
The fuck are you?
Oh, you still think you're here to save London? I'm afraid that's not going to happen. You're here to help us with some important work.
Anyways, blah 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 blah. So bad things happen, you have to fight back, build up the city. It's an open world, you do your typical Watch Dogs missions, you do various quests, you drive around, build up a team.
Reboot DedSec alone. Let me break into London
You know, the
CTOS.
CTOS is gaining more power. All that kind of stuff. All the magic of Watch Dogs. And then the cute spider bot, which you spend some time playing with. I think there was like a multiplayer update they did too to this game that didn't. I don't think that really took off either, from what I remember. I remember it actually testing it out early, which was cool, but yeah, I don't think it was really a big thing. But I remember doing little spider bot battles, which I thought was really neat. But I feel like this has been like a largely forgotten kind of Watch Dogs experience almost, which is a bit of a shame. Do I have to kind of jump around and go this way, and then this thing takes me over here? Cool little robot. So anyways, here on the PlayStation 5 Pro, it's actually kind of a little bit benefiting us because we get to have more of a fuller picture quality here. So the game has two different visual settings that you can enjoy. I was kind of hoping we get back into the regular, you know, open world at some point. But yeah, so the first mode, which I guess it's not the default mode actually, you have to switch to it. So this is like your balance mode. So it's a dynamic 4K 60 FPS. We should be getting a lot closer to that full 4K at 60 FPS. And yeah, I mean it's kind of the ideal mode. It was one they sort of added into the generation to kind of make the game run a little bit better, look a little bit better, which was cool. And then there is also, and you can switch at any point, and it's on by default if you're kind of doing that, and there's HDR support too, but best quality mode. So best quality mode is your, like, again, it's this 4K dynamic, 30 FPS, but it's got ray traced reflections, so, which is cool. Like, it's neat to see that, like the realistic environment and everything, but it's not really worth the downgrade, in my opinion, to lose access to the higher frame rate there. Select my first three operatives. We'll take, she's got a shotgun. He's a plumber with a wrench. What are you, an app developer? Is he blind? What's going on there? Okay. So you just kind of pick a bunch of random people. Oh, a police contact. That guy seems helpful. He's kind of motorcycle. See, it's just kind of odd because you're like basically just a random selection of individuals, and you just kind of build like a DedSec team, and then you just keep collecting more random people. That's where I was saying, like, the centralized character and narrative, I think, makes most experiences really cool. Like the first Watch Dogs, I really liked that one, and the second one too had an interesting cast. And this one is just kind of like random individuals. It's actually quite visually impressive here. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, it's just kind of like pushing towards giving us a clearer picture. So here you get like the ray traced reflections, which it's a cool tack, honestly, to have that sort of a thing.
If you're still committed to the cause,
But
DedSec
like,
needs you.
I do think for a game that's action oriented, like back in the day, you would just, you know, it's an open world, it'd be like 30 FPS. But nowadays, now that we can have,
I'll send you the
you know, 60 FPS, like,
Meet me there.
it just feels a lot better. And I mean, obviously the reflections, it's like a screen space, like just like a faked reflections, right? And it's not like too bad, but there is a clear difference between having, you know, like actual like ray trace reflections and then having them like kind of baked in there. Like, it is really neat just from a technical standpoint to be like, oh, look at that, you know, you see everything in the puddles and you see stuff in the glass, and like it is an interesting technology. But I would say for this game that you should switch it and have the frame rate, because, you know, it just feels a lot better to play. But I did want to clearly show off that this does have the ray trace reflections going on, and that it is something that's available to you. And so it is actually on by default, and yeah. Anyways, let's get to where we're going, which is the safe room. Can I enter the vehicle? I can climb it, but I can't enter? Is there something wrong with this car? Okay, there we go. So it was because it was the tutorial thing? Alright.
Auto drive now enabled.
I mean, there definitely were some interesting mechanics added to this one, gameplay-wise. I do think the general environment in the world of Watch Dogs Legion is kind of cool. It's like a bit of a futuristic London environment, and it's, like, narrative-wise, it's weird though, right? Like, I get that there is a story set up, and you are kind of like breaking the rules and trying to, you know, free the area and stuff. But it is also kind of funny too that it's sort of like, I don't know, it's just it's a bit off is what it is. Like, it's got all the fun and the spirit of London and that. I just, yeah, it's something weird about the fact that you don't really get to enjoy having a stricter narrative with a character that you can actually get behind. So that was an interesting choice, and it'll be really fascinating to see how they, like, if they bounce back as far as doing additional, you know, games. I'm hoping Watch Dogs returns, because I actually find it to be a rather interesting series. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see for the long term. So here's our safe house, which is like in a very, very public, centralized part of the city, but, you know, because it's a pub, I guess it's kind of cool and nobody knows.
So that I can't just let someone who isn't DedSec in. You'll have to do the manual override.
I'm not thrilled about getting my hands dirty, but I suppose one does what one must.
It is kind of strange, right? We're getting the band back together. If I can ever get this door opened.
In for a penny.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still kind of like got the fun and the quirks of Watch Dogs. You know, you got the hacking, the tech stuff, and they did add some more fun tech things, cool weird drone situations and that. But
Dank, pitch black cellar. Just
I don't know. I like this game. At the same time, I still can see like elements of like the faults that it kind of has by, again, not having a central protagonist, or even, you know, they should just let you make your own protagonist. Like, I guess a lot of the gameplay mechanics are you being different characters to do different tasks, but it's still a bit of a, it's a weird approach, honestly. Like, at first I would sit there and I'd be like, oh, it's a neat idea, and then I'd like actually get playing and I'd be like, no, this is strange. And then there's like an AI person thing that's like running everything.
I'm with Sabine. Who the hell are you, and why do you sound like a mobile phone?
Sabine's alive? Well, that's one piece of good news. I'm Bagley, DedSec's definitely not stolen. Highly advanced AI assistant, and it seems I've been out of commission for a few months.
I will say the
Anyway,
fidelity
why
and the
don't you
visual
go connect me
quality
to
of this
the
game
DedSec
does look
network so
really
I can
clean and
become more
sharp. Like, it is
powerful than I can possibly
fantastic.
imagine. I mean, catch up on what I missed.
Activate Bagley service. Yeah, even the AI thing is kind of annoying too. It's just like the whole concept of this plot just seems like a contrived thing to just kind of throw us here as opposed to anything. Like the first game was so brooding, and the second game was like way overly like hipster and friendly, and then this one was just kind of almost random.
Ah, that's it. I'm reconnected to the network, downloading our database, news archives, and oh no. Terrorist group DedSec responsible for deadly bombings in London.
Hey, when that happens.
Dalton Wolf dead? I leave you people alone for a second and you immediately cock it all up.
So, Bagley, if not DedSec, then who was behind the bombings?
There's a gap in my memory after Dalton, well, let's be honest, after I disarmed the bomb at Parliament. I'm missing information about what happened after I was taken offline. And from what I can infer, an unknown hacker group identified only as Zero Day was involved. I believe this Zero Day staged the attacks and framed...
Okay, let's just skip ahead here. I've had enough of our little AI assistant, let's put it that way.
Patching in Sabine Brandt now. I suggest you listen very closely to anything she has to say.
There you are. I'm glad you made it. Bagley. God, it's good to hear your demented little voice. Is your memory intact?
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Let's party in the city. Acquire my equipment. Yeah. Tech upgrades. Do London stuff. Yep, typical Ubisoft pop-up stuff. Spend my points. Buy the infiltrator droid. Yep.
Essential items in your DedSec kit.
Equip the new thing. Okay. And now I've got a squad.
Sophisticated system for hiding your identity from facial recognition tech. It's called a mask. And while we're here, perhaps we can talk about updating your wardrobe. I mean, look at you. Come on.
Whoa, look, I can look all stylish. I can be anyone. No one cared who I was until I became part of DedSec for some random reason. See, I am style. I am flair. And if you've got enough... So is this like a real currency you have to pay for? I always wonder that. Wardrobe. I have no outfits. Kinda creepy with the mask there. Nail polish. I have no nail polish. No tattoos, no makeup? Wow, that's depressing. I'm literally nothing and I have nobody.
You've got all these fancy new
So you gotta
toys, but
like
it's
really
also
upgrade and
important
stuff
know
to be able
the
to get
basics.
things there.
You need to learn how to throw a punch and how to take one. Albion will escalate if you come at them with a gun and shoot you down. We want to avoid collateral damage.
Blah,
In
blah, blah,
DedSec,
blah, blah.
We try to use guns only as a last resort.
Have you already met Connie Robinson? She owns the pub and is an old DedSec contact.
Oh
Not to mention
yes.
a champion amateur
Feisty
boxer.
body.
Go to the practice ring and she'll show you how to stop flinching when someone cocks a punch.
Enter the boxing ring? What, have I never played a game before? I do often wonder if devs just assume people just know absolutely nothing. That's what it feels like a lot of the time. I feel like you can do this while you're out in the open world. Like, you even... See, okay, the thing that really gets me is, like, you're in the tutorial having to learn how to fight people. And then it gives you a tutorial on how to fight people. You know how many video games do that? It's so weird. It's like... I see it all the time, and it's just like, it'll be like, okay, do this to do this. Or it won't tell you anything, and you'll go through the opening segment of a game. And then, like, it'll just give you a tutorial being, like, teaching you the things you already learned while you were just playing the game. Maybe it's just to reinforce it, but, like, if you don't have those skills, you'd never get through the tutorial, right? That's just illogical. Now we're the best of friends. You could tell UFC was on their minds.
Welcome to the...
Welcome to the squad. Welcome to the team. You've been selected because you're random British people. You're all we could find. You're the best of the random selection of people I quickly chose.
Sabine would like to talk to you.
I don't want to talk to Sabine ever again. I'm just tired of whatever Sabine has to say. This is taking too long. I want to get out there into the open world. Okay, that's great. I'm sure it was an informative menu narration thing.
First order of business. The Signals Intelligence Response Service, or SIRS, or the Earl Grey Gestapo, have developed a surveillance technology called AR Reconstruction. It's the bleeding edge of privacy rights violation, and thus it could be very useful in our attempts to find Zero Day.
See, the AI guy, he's just annoying. Wait a sec. Can he join the team?
You look like someone who might want to fight for London.
Oh shit! You're DedSec, right? You gotta help me.
Run deep.
Perhaps. What's the situation?
Her name is
I know someone
Thalia?
who's in big trouble, undocumented, detained by Albion, and ready for deportation.
I mean, if
Happens,
they're
we're rather
undocumented, shouldn't they
practiced at
be?
rescuing people from Albion thugs. We'll handle it.
Not enough, cuz. My mate's just going to get picked up.
I mean, why is your friend undocumented in the place? Isn't that like a bad thing? I don't know. Usually I want people,
Help me out here,
you know,
Bagley.
not to
Claire Kelly routinely moves their passport
take on
orders around the
resources
city.
and
There
stuff
should be
if they're
shipment in
not
one of their delivery cars.
documented
I've also
and
found
paying
the
into
Albion
the
facility
system.
where our prospect's undocumented friends
Just
being
gonna throw it out there.
Okay.
Anyways, very, very good looking game with a fun little futuristic vibe. You know what's kind of weird is, like, in the grand scheme of things, this game isn't that old, but yet it's so old to me because I've gone through so many games and played so many things over the years since this came out. It feels like it was an eternity ago that I last played this. I guess I just really haven't had an excuse to jump back into the world of Watch Dogs Legion, which is almost a bit of a shame. Because there is some pretty cool stuff in this, like cool futuristic cars. Here on the Pro, like, the visuals do look a lot sharper and cleaner, run smoother. It'd be really cool if they could uncap the ray tracing mode. I'm not sure if the Pro would necessarily have the extra oomph to take this all the way, but it would be cool in future-proofing it for the PS6, but I do think Ubisoft has kind of, like, moved on from this game. Just like I think a lot of people have. I don't really ever hear anyone talk about this one or mention it or anything like that, which I think is a bit of a shame because, like, it's a neat concept. It's not a bad idea. I just think there wasn't a memorable enough core story element that really attracted people. Like, lots of, you know, open world activities and things you can do. Is this do you think they just basically, now that I'm really thinking of it, having played Assassin's Creed Syndicate recently, did they just take that map and then, like, I know London is London, but did they just literally take that map and then just, like, upgrade it and kind of, like, fork it into Watch Dogs? Has there ever been discussions about that? I never thought about it at the time, but I am kind of curious if that's a thing that they did, is they just kind of, you know, stuffed it together. Lots of drones and stuff going around. I don't know, it's a pretty decent experience. I think you can have some fun here, do some crazy tech stuff, blow some stuff up, do some watchdogging. Betray the counterism drone. But it's just trying to stop terrorists. It's just a counter-terrorist drone. It's just doing its job. It's just doing what it was hired to do. Whoa, 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 whoa. Larger than life? Can I get out of here?